let's get into the holiday details, Carissa.
We start with Stolas waking up to so many horse plushies and figures, as well as a poster that reads "Believe in Horse Self," and a trio of horse asses.
Then a horse lamp, a height sign that reads, "Must be this tall to horse." Probably stolen from Lululand, given the Lulu Lane smudged writing near the bottom. And My Demon Pony. Why am I not surprised Blitz would have that on his TV?
Maybe he uses it to cope with his supposed horrific horse-related backstory?
But it's way too long and way too dramatic.
Okay, that's gonna bother me forever.
When Stolas opens the medicine cabinet, we see a box of Helluva night sleeping pills, and a figure of a nurse horse that looks close to Nurse Redheart from the My Little Pony series. Wait, does that violate the...
Moving on. Anyone else want a "yes, I do really need all these horses" mug? Or at least the horseshoe napkins?
Next, we have Stolas calling Via, but he asked Blitz to borrow his phone. Does Stolas not have his own phone? If he did he lose that when he lost everything else? That's pretty fucked up. But it does explain why Via would have Blitz saved in her phone, though it is funny she has him saved as Dad calling from shitty boyfriend's phone.
Hilarious!
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 Right. You know what's not hilarious, though? Andre having the butlers covering up Stolas' portraits with his own. The same one, multiple times. That's just sad.
I do like that Blitz has Via saved in his phone as Via, parentheses, Stolas' bird daughter. I guess the last thing he would want would be for him to not remember her name, at least at this point, and accidentally deleting her number.
Next up, to the shops. In the local market, we have stalls with signs reading things of what I found in other imps' houses. Knives and shit. I hope that one's not literal. Fruit and vag. Sounds like fun. And 100% meat product.
That last one sounds right up Stolas' alley, if you know what I mean. Hey-o!
Oh, Volko, that joke was beneath you.
You sure it's not beneath Stolas when
Do we want to know what kind of product rot your teeth is supposed to be? And is that a bottle of poison, or is it meant to be wine? In hell, there's no telling. Either way, it looks like you can have your pick of Bielsa juice based on all these bottles. I wonder if B sells it in different flavors like other spirits on Earth. If she does, you know there's a cotton candy flavor in there somewhere.
Glad to know they have laundromats in hell. Thanks Satan for Mr. Suds, a laundry hero who says, "Do your fucking laundry, you lazy," and it cuts off. Wait, does he have that weird S thing on his chest we all drew in school? They really do have those everywhere.
You know what else seems to be everywhere? Imps having trouble in the kitchen. Between Blitz and Fizz, is this a common thing? Or are they just hopeless in the kitchen?
No. Never again.
Either way, at least they could eat down at the Pride Diner. Love that name. Pride Diner. Serving sinners since... and then a couple of symbols? I'm guessing ever since hell came to be.
Yeah, but they can't eat there if the staff is gonna spit at them. So Blitz makes good on his word to get Stolas some rats in an alley where we see an IMP ad posted, alongside graffiti that reads, "Suck my dick, fuck hell," over what appears to be a pentagram, and a pretty badass tag for Spindle Horse. Won't lie, that'd make a cool bumper sticker if nothing else.
Speaking of potential merch, am I the only one who thinks this could be an Aussie-inspired dress in the window? Stylish occult! Where's our Sins merch at?
Please no. My wallet can't take it.
Yeah, but Mammon would gladly take your wallet. Speaking of taking your money, the name Frock Off, Respectably Unapproachable Clothing, is such a good one that I hope they can at least have a convention stall named after it at some point.
Then we have the offices of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Sleazy law firm in hell? Surprised they weren't in the last episode. Then again, given the injustice system of the Sins, they probably wouldn't have done any good either way.
But that's in the past. In the present, we see Blitz's adorable horse calendar, and we've got more doodles! We can see Blitz and a horse, of course, both wearing Symbolism hats, a string of lights, and a Symbolism tree.
Oh, wait. Should we be concerned about that?
No, fun is free, but we can afford nice things.
We know Blitz was Stolas' only friend, but did Paimon seriously only buy him things to pacify him so he never had any genuine fun that didn't cost anything?
That would explain a lot, but also kind of feeds into the notion of money can't buy happiness, which we all know means it can bring comfort, but not necessarily fulfillment. Stolas is actually a pretty good example of this when you think about it.
Speaking of bringing comfort, I'm sure Blitz is comforted by the fact that they can finally have the office insured. They've been needing it for so long.
The fuck is insurance?
Please tell me you got that insurance thing. Everyone, stop fucking up my wall! Satan's ass crack! Enough with the wall shit! We have a door!
It's insured.
It must feel good to finally be able to afford it, given all their offers at the end of Mastermind.
You gotta love the attention to detail and who's celebrating what for the holidays. Luna, throughout the entire first half of this episode, is constantly seen basically binge-eating biscuits, chips, and more, given that Hellhounds seem to be more associated with gluttony. Whereas Blitz, flipping the couch earlier, fits with Imps being more affiliated with wrath. The scorching hot brimstone bites probably have a good kick, but the Chaos Crisps seem to have a special Symbolism edition, cotton candy flavor.
I never know how to feel about sweet chip flavors. But I do love me some decorations. The Symbolism lights being the colors of each ring is a nice touch, as well as the countdown to Symbolism calendar. I wonder if there's a significance to the candles everywhere. You know, aside from fires of hell. Sadly, knowing Luna, I can't tell if all the Beelzebub juice in the fridge is because of Symbolism or just because. Also, Cleaver Hand 6 Ultimate Cleavage? Is that one of those sequels that's actually like the best in the series, or one of those that is so bad it's good? And I know it's called Cleaver Hand, but with the subtitle, what kind of cleavage are we talking about here?
I have no idea, but I do know a fun fan theory that's been floating around, and it all has to do with this scene right here. We know Stolas doesn't know anything more than what Blitz told him of Symbolism earlier, so this could be just utter shock at the display of violence, especially given he knows that these two love each other. And he may associate this violence with his time with Stella. But in some cultures, it's believed that owls are able to detect when other species are pregnant. So, given what we find out later with Millie, this shock may be for a whole other reason.
On a sillier note, we've got more whiteboard shenanigans! We of course have more horse doodles, a happy Symbolism message, Stolas horse, as he was dubbed on Instagram, with an arrow saying, "Be nice to him, he's gay." A note saying it has been 3 days since Moxie sang, with the second X being added as an afterthought, and the spot with the 3 is heavily smudged, so I guess it's been erased quite a lot. There's also a violence graph, and a horse on a surfboard with a gun saying bang bang, and an arrow to it saying, "He just like me for real."
Hey look, they got a new computer for Symbolism. Guess they had to replace the last one. Nothing like getting an upgrade. I'm also digging the new honeycomb and the imp ornaments on the tree. You weren't kidding. The details they put towards each sin is impressive and appreciated.
Know what else is appreciated? The support from Blitz trying to encourage Stolas. We got the Yas Queen visor and the You Go Girl and I Believe in You flags. We hadn't mentioned it yet, but honestly, since the trial, this is the healthiest their relationship has ever been. And it feels like it'll only get stronger. It's funny that the sex seemed to be what's holding back their true potential intimacy. I mean, from the end of Mastermind up to now, we've seen Blitz care for Stolas when he's at an all-time low, helping him through various tasks ranging from buying groceries to doing laundry, teaching him things no others would think he'd need to know, defending him when people try to attack him in any way, and even when insulting him earlier.
You know what might help that privileged little attitude? Paperwork!
It felt more of a caring, you're in a funk and I want to help you get out of it way. And not at all the same as what we saw in Full Moon or Apology Tour.
Not to mention offering his phone no hesitation to help him call Octavia. And we see even more examples of this comforting and caring later on. It seems like things are improving for the better ever since their breakup. Even if they should probably still talk to someone to be able to air out all they need to. But hey, It looks like Blitz and Luna have gotten better about communicating, given he silently tells her not to fight with this new Karen of theirs, and Luna doesn't immediately start a fight anyway.
But, wait, does Blitz not know what Christmas is?
Because it's Christmas.
It's sins, Miss Lady. Get it right.
Or is he saying, you're in hell now, it's Sinsmas, because they showed Lyle Lipton the mall Santa? But maybe they were just dressed for Sinsmas because the outfits are similar? I mean, he did have the Santa hats on his calendar, or would they be Satan hats?
Satan wearing the traditional Santa hat? Hilarious! But giving South Park vibes. I don't know if this Satan would go for it.
Either way, the Mammon hat tree topper is actually kind of funny. I wonder if they always intended on having merch of Mammon as a Sinsmas tree and threw it into the episode as a little gag.
Then we head to Via's room, where not only do we see what may be the only remaining portrait containing Stolas in the entire castle, even if he is covered slightly, but supposedly all of his personal items in Via's closet. Probably stuff Stella and Andre didn't want, but Via didn't want to see thrown out. And a celestial-themed guitar that reads, "Love Dad" on the back.
That leads us into Via's first song of the series, and this song hits every single part of my heart. It's absolutely beautiful, and Barrett Wilbert Weed did an amazing job singing and portraying the hurt and confusion that Via is feeling. I really, really hope we get to hear more of Via's singing next season, and hopefully it's on the more positive side of things.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised it took this long to get a song from Via. I mean, hell, her VA is known on Broadway. Working with VivziePop, shocking, I know. But I digress. She was the lead role of Veronica Sawyer in the off-Broadway original cast of Heathers the Musical, as well as the Broadway actress to play Janice in the original run of Mean Girls, as well as multiple other theater credits starting as early as 2011. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I hope we hear more of her too. Maybe a nice duet between her and Luna about not understanding dads or their dads not understanding them.
Oh, that would be so nice. Having that connection between the two.
I mean, as we saw from Seeing Stars, they've already got a pretty good connection.
Yeah.
That was a very pretty song, and pretty heavy too. It's not too uplifting that the first thing Via sees after is the bottles of happy pills for Stolas. And the box probably isn't helping. I mean, are those all his empties, or are they pre-filled so he wouldn't need to get refills? We know he's had trouble keeping track, given that moment in When I See Him, but would that have caused him to stock up to be safe? And if not, would all these empties add up to Via's moment later of her saying,
And you needed these! Was this my fault that you needed these? So does that mean you just stayed miserable because of me? Was I some fucking obligation? Is that why you didn't even hesitate when you got a chance to leave?
Hopefully, they'll be able to have a decent talk together in the future.
Yeah, because it certainly ain't happening right now. Stolas' phone, or wait, is it Blitz's phone? Either way, the phone even says no new messages, check back later. They must have great service though. Seems H-Mobile has 666G cell service.
Surprised hell isn't considered one huge dead spot. I'll see myself out. Till the next point at least.
Anyway, it's also pretty cool that the refresh circle is an actual Ouroboros. Again, all of this for less than a second of screen time. That's crazy.
Not as crazy as Stolas' little story here. It's a bit better than Ember Lynn's in my opinion, even if hers might be able to predict the future.
The mysterious demon snarled in defiance before Satan. Heat radiated off of him. His glowing eyes blazed with fury. As my demon lover took a stand against his lord, I felt my love for him burn even hotter than the fiery depths of hell. Satan growled, baring his sharp fangs. You dare defy me? Satan roared, his hulking body towering above us.
Dare try to tell me how to punish?
Yeah, we caught that last episode. We just thought it was more appropriate to talk about here. But I think our bird is feeling a bit pent up, and more than just emotionally. He froze, breath caught in his throat as the other man leaned in. He could feel his warm breath ghost against his trembling beak. His own breath faltered as their lips touched, his lover's breath hot and needy. Their breaths intertwined into one breath. Looking at him was as if he had just reunited with an old lover, and Well, from there it looks like he hit a bit of writer's block. Hell, his creativity is so scatterbrained, the text changes pages and he's got a random but very well done sensual piece. Dude just can't get his creativity on track. Relatable.
Seriously. But on another note, I love this little family holiday that Blitz envisions. The "'Tis the Sinsen" mug that Luna has and the elf Moxie plushie. The personalized stocking stuffers, like a pony for Blitz, a bone for Luna, and maybe a new scarf for Via? Even the framed photos on the mantle, though shaded out, are clearly of demons. There's an interesting parallel from Via's view of Blitz stealing Stolas from her, and yet in his vision, he has her included in their shared family.
Now we get to some really fun stuff. Look at my girl in her full demon form! So hot, so awesome, so utterly badass! This does raise a question though. Do all demons have a true demon form? We know the Sins do, but that makes sense. And we've seen Stolas show his. But aside from Sins, Royals, and high-level overlords like Alastor and Hazbin, we haven't really seen forms like this. Wait, does Luna have 6 eyes in some shots? Is that normal for these full demon forms? Or is that a hint at her possible family line?
Well, that does bring up an interesting theory some people have about Luna. Given this full demon form, the fact that aside from Stolas and Octavia, she's the only one we've seen use the grimoire, and the mystery behind her birth lineage, is it possible that Luna is part Goetia? Or at least part high-level demon? It feels a bit odd to assume that Luna, or any other Hellhound, would have super powerful latent abilities given their place in Hell's hierarchy. And the theories about half-breeds are nothing new. People have been theorizing about Stryker being a half-breed since Harvest Moon, with one of the more recent ones being that he's actually a Royal's or even Satan's bastard son that Satan either doesn't acknowledge or doesn't know about, hence his hatred for the Royals.
An interesting thought, but one that sadly we'll have to wait to see for another day. Either way, I doubt we've seen the last of full Luna. And I hope we haven't seen the last of fun callbacks either, like this callback to Lululand.
Where is Blitzy? He's my knight in shining armor, not you littler ones.
The Prince's Knight needs his sword!
And what I feel can only be a callback to the drunk Moxie high five from Spring Broken.
I also can't help but feel like this is a nod to the Hydra fight in Hercules. Even down to the hero being swallowed and slicing the head off from the inside. And hey, we finally got to find out what Stolas said that was bleeped in the pilot after so long. Maybe we'll find out what Andrelphus said someday. Must have been crazy since the subtitles literally says profanity bleep. After 2 seasons, we know they aren't afraid to use the captions to spill the beans.
But while we recorded this, they did announce the series will be dual streamed to Amazon Prime, and Prime versions would be uncensored. You think maybe we'll get old episodes released uncut?
Who knows? I mean, it'd be pretty fun to hear what Stolas actually said to Blitz all the way back in Murder Family, but part of me wonders if stuff like this works better because we don't know what was said, just that it was offensive.
Good point. Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out how they do it soon enough.
Before we can have our bittersweet ending, we can't help but point out the similarities in between the faces that Via and Stolas make when leaving someone they love. Via kinda mirrors Stolas from the end of Full Moon before leaving him outside the manor as Stolas did to Blitz. Like father, like daughter. Let's just hope that like Blitz and Stolas, Via and Stolas can work things out. Just maybe not without such a potentially world-shattering cause for reunion.
For real, we've had so much trauma drama, and it's done pretty well up to now. So let's have one bit of wholesome bittersweetness before we get back to the party. After letting Stolas have a moment to himself, we see Blitz fry up a few brimstones. Seems he wanted to warm up his body temperature so he could provide Stolas with some decent comfort. And we see that Luna, Moxie, Millie, and even the guest of their party giving them time and space together. No surprise that Moxie would start with a gentle approach of Sensmas cookies to try and break the tension.
Oh, but we know a different tension is on the rise given Millie's little discovery. We'll get to it in a moment, but while she's in the bathroom, we can see a bottle of creamy bits. Is that a shaving cream or a type of lotion?
Not sure. but I wonder if they'll release holiday sweaters like Millie's Sinsmiss's Killsmiss sweater, or maybe this time next year we can all play a game of Monopoly Sinsmiss Edition. Get greedy or get out.
Now the part I'm sure a lot of people wanted to hear about, Millie's unexpected +1. We're not going to go into a lot of theories or what ifs on this one, cause let's be honest, plenty of other people have already, and we're honestly okay with just seeing what will happen when it happens. What we will point out is the fact that when Millie makes her call to Sally Mae, she stops outside another apartment, apartment 661. Some folks probably just thought, oh, Blitz probably lives in 666, right? But we know Viv and her team often put in little Easter eggs and details. It turns out that 661, as an angelic number, holds a couple of different meanings.
That's right. Some believe that the number 6 resonates with the influence of love, home and family, guardianship, grace, clarity, honesty and integrity, expressing gratitude, compromise and diplomacy, problem solving and solution finding, providing, provision, and material needs being met.
Well, we certainly see a lot of that in this episode. Stolas expressing his gratitude to Blitz for what he's able to do, Millie seeking that love of family from Sally Mae, Blitz trying to provide and meet Stolas' needs, Via seeking guardianship, which she clearly wasn't getting from Stella, and you can even argue that the team made a compromise on the mission. The money would be nice, but not worth breaking up a family that did no wrong. They'd rather lose one bitch of a customer than take away a familial love they'd all want themselves.
And they also believe the number 1 resonates with intuition and insight, new beginnings and fresh starts, striving forward in progress. It encourages us to step outside our comfort zones and reminds us that we create our own realities with our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Kind of like Blitz trying to create his own reality of a family he wants, even if, in the past, he's thought he doesn't deserve it.
That's a lot. And there's even more to this number, so we'll just put a link in the description if you'd like to read more.
For now, let's look at Luna's phone where we see on Instagram she's actually following Vicky, that bitch, from B's party. Kinda odd she'd be following a rival of sorts, but hey, at least she seems she made some friends at the party. Seeing these other hellhounds chilling with her in her limited Sinsmas edition glut honey carbonated bezel juice with natural flavors is awesome.
Know what wouldn't be awesome? The hangover any of us would get from that stuff. Harder than ethanol, Christ on a stick! Guess it's a good thing demons seem to have a higher tolerance. Well, sometimes.
In any case, all we really have left to talk about are the original Sinsmith songs in the episode. While we'll go into more specifics in our Season 2 song tier list video, which, if it's out, will be linked right here, we can still talk a little bit about them. And yes, we'll have an episode tier list too.
Just wait till the series is done and we make our ultimate tier list.
Until then, let's talk about the details of the songs. Viv, thankfully, released the full versions of both songs after the episode, so some may not have known that they could hear it all. First up is A Sinsmas Party, I'll Murder You, by our own Verostica Mayday. Very much feels a little similar to a certain holiday pop hit, wouldn't you say?
No, don't say her name. She'll appear. It's not time to defrost her yet.
Then we have Mary Sinsmith, sung by Benny Benack III, a pretty popular jazz and cabaret artist who's performed as the host and featured soloist of Postmodern Jukebox, and regularly featured with Charlie Rosen and the 8-Bit Big Band.
Per Sam Haft himself, the song is meant to harken back to crooner songs of the past, specifically Sinatra, and has even gone on to say, and I quote, "We picked the vocalist because he did a Sinatra impersonation on a big band version of our song Five Nights at Freddy's, arranged by the 8-Bit Big Band."
Well, it made for one hell of a duet number for Stolas and Blitz to dance to. I know some fans have wanted to see them dance together for quite a while, even if they had to make it happen themselves before this.
Well, it certainly was a bittersweet ending to the season, but there's a lot of places we could head next season, with new plot points or returns to others. Could you imagine Crimson attacking IMP now and discovering he can take down a disgraced Goetia too?
Fuck. With Stolas' power stripped, could Stryker actually finish the job?
Imagine the dorks finding out the demon that possessed them can't do anything if they found a way back into hell.
Like we said earlier, theories for another time. For now, we could just appreciate the stuff we got, and look forward to more coming up. from the sound of it, we'll have plenty of shorts to look forward to as well, so we'll keep bringing the background details. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.